What's going on, Fit Pro, nutrition coaches, and high ticket offer coaches? My name is Nick Ross, owner, founder, and sales coach of Close One Academy, where I help coaches just like yourself deal with the most painful part of their business, which is the sales process. And let me remind you, it's also the most important part of your business because it's the only part of your business that actually brings in income. Now, over my 19 years of sales experience, I've helped many businesses in 3 different industries scale to over $1 million, totaling over $80 million in revenue. I've also coached over 1,000 sales professionals and clients in sales to help them produce sustainable and scalable systems in their business so they can continue to enjoy what they're doing and create the freedom of choice that we're all in this industry for. Now, I'm also not only a sales director, but I'm chasing my IFBB Pro card in men's physique. I'm an amateur photographer. I have a podcast where I love to help people with self-development and learn Neuro-Linguistics programming. And I also love to be on stage and do some motivational speaking. So let's jump into the presentation. Today, the number one question that I get as a sales coach is, Nick, how do I overcome objections? And this question in itself, because of the vocabulary used, actually creates the mindset problem that I want to help you overcome today. The word overcome makes it seem very adversarial. It makes us seem like we're on the opposite ends of the table pushing back and that we got to prove through intellectual prowess and I'm right and you're wrong in order to be able to overcome objections. And what I want to teach you today is how to prevent them from ever happening. Now, if we look at the actual definition of an objection, it's an expression or feeling of disapproval or opposition, which is a reason for disagreeing. And we want to get people to lower their guard. We don't want to be in opposition with our lead prospect. We want to be on the same side of the negotiating table as them and not create this battle of back and forth and who's right and who's wrong. We want people to self-persuade. We want people to self-quantify the value of moving forward by themselves and not us actually telling them what to do. So again, my number one goal here is to teach you through Neuro-Linguistics programming how to prevent objections from ever happening in the first place. Now, what I see in my 19 years of sales experience and helping coaches like yourself is the 3 main birthplaces of objections is 1, they're not creating the right map. They're not creating the gap, the massive action plan for people to move forward. 2, there's a lack of reframing false beliefs, or you don't even understand the actual false beliefs that people have and how to actually reframe them so they can move forward. And lastly, the most simple one, but the one that goes overlooked the most, is people are just using the wrong sales frameworks. They're using old, dusty, dried up frameworks that just don't work in today's selling environment. So the first thing that we're going to go over is how to actually not use poor sales frameworks anymore and use the proper ones. If we look at the 5 types of salespeople on sales teams, we have the hard worker, the lone wolf, the challenger, the relationship builder, and the problem solver. Now, I ask audiences from stage this question all the time. Out of these 5, which one to you do you think is the most successful? I allow them to think about it, and the majority of the people in the audience are always going to pick number 4, the relationship builder, and for obvious reasons. But I'm here to tell you, in today's selling environment, in the paradigm shifts that happened in our culture, it's actually number 3. It's the challenger. It's the person that actually shows up as a leader, and that works perfectly as a coach because you need to be a leader moving people forward through painful problems. And if we took a look at the brief history of sales from the 50s to where we are today, you could see back in the day in the 1950s, we sold based upon product, based upon those famous words, made in the United States, made in America. And we sold based upon what was called features, advantages, and benefits and a demonstration style selling technique. We don't want to do that. In the 1980s, I want you to think of like Wolf of Wall Street or Wall Street type selling or old movies like The Boiler Room. It was all opportunity-based selling. Retailers, car lots still use this type of sales. You can see it on furniture commercials as well. You're going to regret not getting down here sooner. You don't want to pass up this opportunity of a lifetime. And it just creates false scarcity and false opportunity. We know no matter what, if we get down there, they're going to sell it to us no matter what anyways. In the 2000s, we moved to what was called the relationship-based selling framework. These people were problem finders and problem solvers. And yes, that's still important to a degree, but really what you became was a glorified customer service agent to the person. And it's not going to create sustainable sales techniques for you to convert the type of leads that you're now getting in today's selling world. And then what happened in 2008 is we had this massive recession. There was all of these studies done to see who was still converting at a high level on sales teams. And what they determined was a leadership-based style of selling, or what's called the Challenger framework, was established. And today, and up until 2024, this type of framework is still working. And I want to teach you how to implement it into your business. Now, I want you guys to first understand that the decline of the relationship-based selling framework, the relationship and the buying decision have become decoupled, all right? The customer relationship is the result and not the cause of successful selling. Let me say that again because it's really important for you to understand. The customer relationship is the result and not the cause of successful selling. Meaning when you use the right selling framework and you sign the client up into your ecosystem, then the relationship begins. And you want to form that relationship because it's going to help you increase the lifetime value, the testimonials you get, and the referrals that you get from that client based upon your relationship with them. But again, it's not the reason that you're closing more sales. And I want you to think, who is the greatest retailer? Who sells the most products in the world nowadays? It's these guys, Amazon, okay? And they have no relationship with you. There's no one to call. You don't have a guy or my girl over at Amazon. They've just established a framework of quicker, faster, easier, and cheaper than any other retailer in the world. And that's why they are the most successful retailer in the world today. But it has nothing to do with a relationship. In order to build the characteristics needed to have the proper leadership-based selling framework, you have to have these 3 skill sets learned. I want to remind you guys that there's no such thing as a natural sales ability. All of these things can be mastered by paying attention to the details, building the skill sets, and those skill sets are the keys that open up the door to new opportunity for you. But these are all learned skill sets. By far, the most important skill set to learn is emotional stability. If you cannot learn how to swim in a sea of rejection in sales, you are going to drown and your company is going to die. The old saying by Mike Tyson is, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And getting punched in the face is a metaphorical phrase used for being rejected, being told no, hearing an objection, someone no-showing or ghosting you after a follow-up or not showing up to the call at all. You have to learn how to stay emotionally stable and not be sensitive to neurotic and negative emotion, because that will produce doubt, fear, and shame inside of you, and it will destroy your mindset. You will not show up in the right frame, in the right state to the call. Next is you have to be introverted. Again, guys, this is a learned skill set. When it's lights, camera, and action, you have to be able to turn on extroversion. Me by myself, alone in a room, I don't really like to be around that many people. I like to be by myself most of the time. I'm naturally introverted, but I learned this skill set and how to turn it on because no one wants to be coached or be around or buy from someone that's a wet piece of cardboard, that's super boring and monotone and doesn't know how to inflect their voice and is just boring. No one wants to deal with that person. And lastly, you have to be assertive. You cannot be highly agreeable. You cannot negotiate for what you want. You can't be a people pleaser. You have to be assertive and a little bit disagreeable and know through the proper magic words of NLP, can I make a request? Do I have your permission? Do you mind if I put on my coach's hat and push back for a second? And know through the right words and the right tonality how to actually challenge people so you don't sound or feel like a jerk. Now, the number one state, your state is your physiology, your language and meaning that you take from experience, and your focus. That is your state. When you show up to the call, your state has to be in the mindset of a world-class doctor. You have to be calm, assertive, confident. This is your mantra. Before you get on calls, I literally want you to repeat this mantra back. Calm, assertive, and confident. Calm, assertive, and confident. When a doctor walks into the examination room, he's not like super high energy, effervescent, like this big cheerleader type of personality, Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Nice Woman. He's not like, hey, Nick, how are you today? I'm here to talk to you about your painful problem, about how you view yourself naked in a mirror. And you see all those people in the waiting room, they're just like you. You have nothing to worry about. That's not what they do. Because if they showed up in that kind of state, I think they were a quack. I'm not doing nothing that they're telling me to do, and I'm going to go find a new doctor. Rather, they show up calm, assertive, and confident. They figure out what the pain is. They figure out what the possibility is. They create a gap, and based upon that gap, they create the pathology. Their tonality, their focus, their physiology is calm, assertive, and confident. So one of the reasons why you're hearing objections and you're not being assertive is because you're showing up on your calls, hey girl, what's up king, what's up dude, and you're in this like super effervescent, happy-go-lucky state trying to be someone's best friend, and it's totally strange and weird. So again, I really drive home this point. Calm, assertive, and confident in the mindset of a world-class doctor. Now, another problem with the frameworks that people are using is they're using demonstration-based sales frameworks from product sales, like cars and TVs and infomercials that you see, or Shark Tank. Those are all demonstration-based selling techniques for products. You're not selling a physical product. You're selling a service to solve the most painful problem in a person's life. How they view themselves naked in the mirror creates a lot of neurotic and negative emotions. So again, we want to attack this in the mindset of a world-class doctor. When you do demonstration-based sales and we're the best and we have all these great things and its features, advantages, and benefits, it's all about you. It becomes a show and tell. You have to prove your worthiness to them. They are now evaluating you, and they probably don't trust you because you sound like every other salesperson they've ever talked to. And the result of the whole entire conversation is that the lead prospect is controlling you. Rather, if you go through it in a mindset of a world-class doctor, you walk into the examination room and you say, where does it hurt? How long has it been hurting? What caused the pain? And you help them feel the pain. So they are in so much pain currently that they will do anything to solve the problem. Then it all becomes about them. And you build know, like, and trust. You build rapport. You elevate your status in the eyes of the lead and the prospect, and you become an expert. And you do this by asking skilled questions. The purpose of these questions is to understand their situation fully so you can create the right pathology from pain to possibility. You evaluate them because you're the expert. And because of that, you're in control of the conversation, and people stop going off on these tangents that have nothing to do with the sales process and disconnect you from the lead and the prospect. Now, one thing that you want to do as a doctor is get these 10 clarities. We don't have time to go through all of these right now, but I'm going to give you a resource on the next slide through a QR code. Go to the landing page, download the asset, and I give you all the questions that you need to get in operational order all of these clarities. When you don't have enough clarity, you can't drive decision making for the other person. Vision drives decision. It's very Tony Robbins of me, but I love that saying. Also, when you don't get enough clarity, you don't have a crystal clear picture of this person, their pain, their problem, their obstacles, their resources, you end up pitching into a smokescreen. And that is very dangerous because then you are going to remind them of their past failures and past experiences they've already tried, and you will simply become an improvement offer and not a new, unique opportunity to move them forward through their painful problem. Very quickly, these 10 clarities are pain, possibility, obstacles, return on investment, and also cost of inaction, which most people forget. Doubt, do they doubt themselves? Do their spouses doubt them? Their financial situation or their willingness to do something different? We also call this resourcefulness. What is their support system? Do they trust themselves? Do they trust the product? Do they trust you? That's called your triangle of trust. You need to establish that before people buy you. Timing, are they looking to do this now, later, maybe kind of sorting, like hopefully this happens one day, Miss Jones? And lastly, coachability, all right? These are your 10 clarities. On this document that I've created for you called 6 Steps to Close One, this is my framework. This is my systemized process to get you a consistent sales result. This is a one-stop shop PDF with everything that you need from start to finish, all the way to your onboarding processes to help you convert more leads, including the cold ones, into paying clients so you can have more impact and income in your life, in your business, which will create freedom of choice for you. Hit the QR code there. Again, it will take you to a landing page. Just fill out the form and you will be redirected to the asset, which is for free. The second problem is that we're not creating the gap. We're not creating a gap wide enough through leveraging cost of inaction to make them feel that they are in so much pain that the current state of pain exceeds the perceived pain of change. They are in so much pain that they are willing to do whatever it takes now to overcome that pain. Again, vision drives decision. If people don't know what they want, then they could never obtain it. They cannot satisfy themselves. So we want to get them to self-persuade by asking the proper questions through those 10 clarities so they have the vision to drive the decision to take action and get the result that they want. The very first question that you're always going to ask after you neutralize the frame in your introduction is, where are you feeling most stuck, Miss Jones, in order to get to where you want to go? Like, where are you most stuck in losing the 30 to 40 pounds? We want to first get off the burning desire and create point A, pain. The last question that we ask before we pitch will be about possibility. We want to know what the evidence criteria is, what it looks like, feels like, who is it going to impact, how is it going to impact their life once they do reach their goals. From there, what we also want to establish are the obstacles and the resources along the way on that journey, because most people sell themselves incredibly short on how many problems they actually have on solving this on their own and all of the resources that they have to get there. Along the way, guys, there's going to be false beliefs. This is this brick wall. We have to knock down these false beliefs, and everyone has 3 core false beliefs. We have to knock these down. This is the brick wall in front of them that's preventing them from seeing and how to execute what they want. When we can knock down those brick walls, they can look out into the future and go, damn, I look good with 6-pack abs, or man, I look really good when I can fit back into those clothes from a few years ago. But they literally can't see their future because they are blinded by their false beliefs. So again, we want to be able to get point A, pain, their present state, where they are, but they prefer not to be. Point B, their desired state, where they want to be, and the motivations and why it's important for them to get there. And not only how is it going to impact their life, but more importantly, through significance and contribution, how is it going to impact the ones that they love? What kind of communication will they be passing down to their family and to their kids and to their significant other? Then you want to be able to expand the gap through leveraging cost of inaction right before you pitch. Miss Jones, what is this going to look like if, God forbid, you don't change this problem in the next 12, 24, or 36 months? How is that going to impact your life? Are you willing to settle for that? And we want to leverage and expand the gap by leveraging cost of inaction. Now, when we're digging into pain, it's very, very important. Same thing a doctor's going to do. When I walk into the doctor's office and my shoulder's all jacked up, he's going to know, Nick, how long have you been in pain? I'm going to let him know. It's been 3 to 4 weeks. Nick, what's the impact of the pain? Well, doc, it's really messing me up in my head because I'm a professional. I want to be a professional bodybuilder. I can't currently work out. It's creating all this stress and anxiety in my life because my shoulder's all jacked up and I can't do the exercises I want. Nick, what caused the problem? What was the root of the problem? Well, I was doing ego lifts in the gym. I was doing shoulder presses to impress a bunch of people that I don't even care about. I jacked up my shoulder. I knew I shouldn't have done it, but I did it anyways. And by asking me those questions and the story that I just told is going to help me internalize and feel the problem, which then evokes the emotion. This becomes the emotional driver that moves the person forward. Remember, information plus emotion equals long-term memory. So the more painful an experience was, the longer you're going to remember it. And if we can trigger or help them feel the problem, Miss Jones, tell me about the first time you noticed this problem when you stepped on the scale and you looked down at the number. How did that make you feel? All right, help them experience the problem and relive it, which will then help drive them forward. By doing this, guys, we're going to stay off of the surface level of selling. So many coaches and so many game tapes that I break down of sales calls, coaches only stay surface level because they're not being assertive, they're not challenging paradigms, they're not pushing back on people. And if you're not doing that in your sales calls, then I can only assume that you don't do that as a sales or as a coach either. And I need my coach to push me. I need my coach to tell me that I'm messing up, that I have these false beliefs that are holding me back. If you stay on the surface level, guys, you're not going to convert people. All you will ever convert is the hot leads and referrals that you get. Surface level is just the superficial stuff. I just want to lose 10 to 20 pounds. And you just stay there. You don't get into the motivations or the why that's important. When you do lose 10 to 20 pounds, what else is that going to allow you to produce? Then some people get down to the action level. They get a little bit into the nitty gritty of the pain, and you will sign people up, but these people won't be with you forever. They're not going to give you testimonials. They're not going to give you referrals. They're probably going to ask for a refund, or they're going to dispute the charge. So you got them to take action because you dug a little bit into the pain. But again, they're not going to be your ideal client that's going to help grow your business organically, or they can just be a pain in the butt and you wish you never signed them up in the first place. But when you get into the transformational level of selling, you're going to move people forward because you help them create the identity that can actually support the outcomes that they want. So many people foster an identity that cannot possibly produce the outcomes that they want, and that's why they feel like they're on a hamster wheel of not getting results, because the old identity keeps kicking in, pulling them back. Then they end up cutting off all the bits and pieces of themselves that they've been working so hard on to stuff themselves back into their limited identity. And so it's your job to get to the transformational level, the why, the motivations. Who is this going to impact besides you? Who is this going to help besides you? And that helps people have a communitarian approach to self-development, which means we're more likely to do things for ourselves if it's going to impact the others and the people that we love. Third is a lack of reframing false beliefs. We have to understand the three major false beliefs that people have. By the way, this comes from a book called Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. I highly recommend that you understand these concepts. The first is that they're going to have false beliefs about your unique opportunity, the actual vehicle for which you use to get people results. They're going to have they've used an in-person trainer. Maybe they did a diet. Maybe they did the keto. Maybe they tried to count macros before. Maybe they've done HIIT cardio before. Maybe they've done weight resistance training before. Maybe they've done group sessions before. But you never get into any of these false beliefs, and you never actually ask questions about, what have you tried in the past? What do you think worked? What did you think did not work? And if you don't help them knock down some of these false beliefs, which you can do by telling stories of your other clients, it's called I feel, I felt, I found. I know why you feel that way, Miss Jones, because I felt that way once too. But I tried these things and this is what I found. You can overcome any of these objections by using I feel, I felt, I found. They are called epiphany bridge stories. When you tell an epiphany bridge story, people can self-quantify value for themselves instead of you being adversarial and using sales pressure to put them into a buying state, which, by the way, they only give you buying resistance. So they're just going to push back. They have internal false beliefs. These are going to be false beliefs that they're a failure, that they can't do it, that they're not motivated, that they don't have enough knowledge, that they don't have enough application. Again, all internal false beliefs that you want to get into and asking them, are you coachable? Are you the type of person that believes in yourself? Do you doubt yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your feelings about being able to accomplish this? And then lastly, external false beliefs. This could be time, resources, money, other people in their life, the weather, the social economical issues, who's president, whatever they want to blame externally, but you also want to get clarity of what did they think about the support systems in their life, their willingness to do something different than what they've tried before. And again, if you have the epiphany bridge stories from yourself or from clients like the lead and prospect, when these false beliefs come up, tell them those epiphany bridge stories so they can self-quantify and self-persuade themselves to move forward. Now, one thing that you have to understand, this is very conceptual, but if you can help explain this concept to people in your marketing, on your pre-call packets, or during your sales calls when objections do show up, we can help them prevent them diffuse them by understanding the Robert Dilts logic levels of NLP. What it states is that if you want to change anything about your environment, anything, financially, emotionally, spiritually, you want to get your kids into a better college, you want to stop drinking, you want to stop smoking, does not matter. And this will use weight loss. If you want to lose weight and change your environment, you first have to change your behaviors. But most people don't actually change their behaviors because they only try for a little bit. They don't do the actual real work required, so they never feel capable. And what this does is it creates a fitness failure loop. I want to change something about my body. I try for 7 to 14 days. I still can't do it, so I don't feel capable. So I quit and I go back to wanting to change my body. And it's just this fitness failure loop. They fail over and over and over again. They become conditioned for failure. They identify as a failure, and then they want to give up. What you have to help people understand is the main way that you can change anything in your life is by getting a coach, by getting training, by getting education, by getting a mentor. Your job as the coach is to instill the values and beliefs and the frameworks so this person can form the behaviors necessary so they feel capable, they have new values and beliefs, they go on to change their identity, and when you change someone's identity, you give them the greatest gift in the world, which is they go on to create their own mission. This is how you guys got here. It's called the plight of the broken. We all want to fix in others which was once broken in us. So when you help Miss Jones lose the weight, she creates new behaviors, she feels capable, she has a new hierarchy of values and beliefs in her life, she creates a new identity, and she's walking around her community at work, at the house, at church. People are going to come up to her and say, "Damn, Miss Jones, you look amazing. How did you do that?" And she's going to feel good. She's going to get rewarded. She's going to get some dopamine. She's going to get some oxytocin. And she's going to say, "Oh, let me teach you how I did this." And she feels good for passing on the communication to her loved ones, to her circle of 5, to her circle of influence, to her children, and then starts pouring into others. That is fulfillment. But you have a really, really hard time as an individual with trying to do it by yourself. You want them to understand the reason that you're hiring a coach is so I create the external accountability in your life to create the internal habits that you need, the values and beliefs to do this long into the rest of your life, where you're not just buying temporary education, you're buying real knowledge and application of information so you know how to do this for the rest of your life. Now, in NLP, there's something called an algorithm for success. NLP is the science of achievement. Achievement and success is a formula. It's an algorithm. It's ones and zeros. It's a science. It's duplicatable. It's repeatable. It can be modeled. And so if we draw back the results that you are or are not getting in your life, we draw it back like this. If you're not getting the results that you want in your life, it's because you're not taking the proper actions to get the result. The reason why you're not taking actions is because you're not making a decision. And by the way, not making a decision is a decision. The reason why you're not making a decision is because you're emotional about it and you're most likely assigning meaning and belief to the experience in a negative way. You're saying this is happening to me and not for me. And you have to get your clients and leads and prospects to understand that their past experiences do not define them. Don't let a bad decision burn you twice. And so we want everyone, including yourself, to understand this core principle. Seek answers first, not emotions. And any time in your life that you've been embarrassed or you've ruined a relationship, it's because you let the emotional flood take over. Remember, emotions are low resolution solutions that your body produces for problems your mind has not figured out yet. There is no such thing as positive and negative experiences, ladies and gentlemen. There is only experiences. Human beings are the only thing on earth that assigns negative and positive experience or meaning to experience. It's not heaven or hell, positive or negative, rewarded or victim. They're just experiences. Experiences are not binary. They're not good and bad. It's like a thermometer. A thermometer doesn't just say hot and cold. There's spectral approach to it. Experiences are spectral. Okay? What might be hot to me might be cold to you, and what might be hot to you might be cold for me. It's all dependent on our nature, our nurture, our generalizations, our past experiences, the deletion and distortions that we make to our mental map, which is not the actual territory of reality itself. And so when it comes to people's false beliefs, it's your job through epiphany bridge stories, anecdotal stories, through metaphor, through reframes, which are all on that 6 steps to close one document that I sent you, all of the objection scripts on how to handle or how to tell story or how to put this in your marketing or how to put this in your pre-call packet to reframe these things before they even come up before the sales call, which is great. But again, if we can help people reassign the meaning of the past experiences for losing weight or what they're trying to change in their life, we can help them reframe the emotion, make a decision, take action, and get the result that they want in their life. Now, one of the most important aspects of NLP is to understand the 6 basic driving forces of every human being. The reason why this is important is because when you can figure out someone's driving force in life, why they wake up foaming at the mouth to take the day or to take on the day, why they get up on the first alarm. If you can identify that in a human being, then you can figure out how to influence them both internally and externally, but you also figure out what their dominant buying motive in life is, why they buy. We don't have time to go over all 6, but you do this during the discovery phase. If they're in your Facebook group, look them up on Facebook, look them up on Instagram, look them up on LinkedIn, see what they do. Do they have large families? Do they like to go on vacation? Do they like nice things? Do they value learning and acquiring knowledge? Do they value their community and giving back and going to church or doing fundraisers for people? Figure out what their driving force is. But I'm going to give you the greatest hack in life to create connection and influence with another human being. All human beings, everyone, all 110 billion people that have ever lived on Earth, all prioritize certainty first, and for good reason. You can only be so happy, but you can be completely dead. And the mind is a 3 million-year-old computer that prioritizes safety and certainty to keep you alive first, which is why negative emotions, pound for pound, are more powerful than positive emotions. So you have to be 100% certain that this product and service is the end-all be-all solution to all of their life's problems. Because when Miss Jones finally does lose the 30 to 40 pounds in her life, she's now can no longer use that as an excuse to fix all the other things in her life. So you have to be certain. You have to be certain in your physiology, your tonality, your focus, your language, your reframing of experiences, how you pitch your offer. You have to be absolutely rock solid certain. That creates certainty in their state. If you show up as a professional, if you show up as an expert, if you show up in the mindset of a world-class doctor, You create a status of expertise and leadership, and this person will want to follow you. Next, doesn't matter man or woman, significance or the increased hit of status from the buying decision will move people forward to buy. We all know the Lambo purchase is a big, significant purchase. It's curb appeal. It makes the person feel really great about themselves because they have this expensive car, especially when it comes to men. But what about the mom? What about the mom that buys the soccer mom van? That also is a hit and increase of status because other moms are going to look at her as a responsible mother because she cares about protecting her children. If you're dealing with parents, you want to tie your results and your outcomes and what you're selling to the fact that they're going to be able to set the example and pass down proper communication to their children and end the generational curses that they're struggling with. If they really value growth and expanding their container and learning, allow them to understand that your offer, your outcomes is going to allow them to grow, feel more significance, have more contribution, pour into people, and make sure that you let them know, look, I can't guarantee you results because I can't eat the food, do the cardio, and go to the gym for you. But I can guarantee you this is the best damn shot that you have at getting to where you want to go and create rock solid certainty. Now, when it comes to false beliefs and objections, they're still going to happen. And what I want you to understand is the three major objections that you guys hear. Obviously, financial or money, think about it, and spouse. In the 6 steps to close one, that document on the bottom, there's all the scripts for how to handle these. What I want you to understand is conceptually, all objections must be handled logistically first, which means helping them figure out how to get the money, helping them figure out how to think about it, and helping them have the proper kind of conversation with their significant other. Okay, all the scripting, all the frameworks are in there. But once you help people logistically figure out the money, think about it, or spouse objection, and they still don't buy, what it's telling you is that fear and false beliefs are holding people back. Okay? Again, all the scripts, all the reframes, all the anecdotal stories are in the 6 stages to close one for you. Download it. All the scripts are in there. You can learn how to do this step by step. Again, I want you to know conceptually, once we solve the fear and we overcome and reframe fear, if they still don't buy, then it's just a smokescreen. Don't beat yourself up. It doesn't matter if it was Tony Robbins, Oprah, me, or anyone in between. This person just wasn't ready to change their life. Move on. Again, in normal sales environments, people close like 30% of the time. If you're a really great salesman, you're going to close 50 to 60% of the time, which means anywhere from 70 to 40% of the time, you're not closing. Okay. So not everyone is your client, but if you know how to run this sequence and you understand what to say, summarize what you heard, validate their fear, establish the need for the program, and you overcome it logistically, we know fear is left. And what I'm here to tell you is the major single fear for every single buyer, especially in our industry, is this one major single fear. If I do this, if I buy this, am I still going to fail? Now, everything here thereafter that I'm going to teach you is a way to reframe this major fear. What I ask leads and prospects is this: are you more afraid of success or are you more afraid of failure? And most people say, I'm more afraid of failure. I go, really? Because what I know about what humans fear is that humans fear the unknown. And me, you, and everyone that we know in this world, we fail every single day. We are so intimately and passionately familiar with failure, there is no way that failure could be the unknown. The unknown in your life, based upon our conversation today, is the body, your best image of yourself and what you see in the mirror. That is the unknown. So really what is holding you back, the irony about what is holding you back, is the type of success that you want in your life. Because when you do lose the 30 to 40 pounds that you've been struggling to lose for the last 2 decades, you can no longer blame being overweight for all the other problems in your life. And now those problems must be addressed. But that is the pathway to your highest self, Miss Jones. That is how you create a new identity. So do not allow the fear of success to hold you back. Now, I know why people feel this way, because I, myself, felt this way too. At the age of 32, I was diagnosed with cancer. I was given a 50-50 chance at life. At this point in my life, I was an inconsequential man. There would have been no rippling of who I was throughout eternity. I hadn't amounted to nothing. I had risen into the corporate ladder. I had some trophies on the wall, but they were dusty. I also had insufficient funds in my bank account. I had zero financial freedom. I had zero freedom of choice. But this diagnosis led to the forced resolution in my life. If cancer was easy, if surgery was easy, if chemotherapy was easy, then I don't change my life. I don't. People ask me, Nick, if you had to go through it all over again to be where you are today, would you? The most negative experience in my life, would you do it all over again? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because I'm more afraid of the person that I used to be than I am of going through all that again. I'm more afraid of cutting off the bits and pieces of myself I've worked so hard on in the last 8 years to fit back into a limited, inferior identity. And you have to allow your clients to know this. It's time to move forward. The things that you've been through, your false beliefs, the things that are holding you back, those are the things that are serving you. They have happened to you. They have happened for you and not to you. It is not your conditions. It is your decisions. You have to allow your leads and prospects to know this, and you need to know this watching this as well. People run races with no legs. Not just a couple of them, tens of thousands of them. People with no legs run sprints. What is your excuse for not getting what you want? It is not your conditions, it is your decisions. People make the impossible possible every single day. And one of the presuppositions in NLP that I love more than anything, if one man or one woman can accomplish it, anyone in this world can accomplish it. Anyone. It is not your resources, it is your resourcefulness. At some part of our life, we were taught that I can't afford it meant I can't move forward. Who taught you that? Who established that in your life? Do you think that God, the collective consciousness, the ancestral knowledge of all of our ancestors, whatever you identify and pray to, do you think that they log into your Bank of America account and see how much is in there before they give you the size of your dreams? They don't. We cannot allow the size of our bank account to limit our identity and our dreams and what we want to accomplish in this life. That goes for you watching this presentation, but you also have to help other people understand this as well. It is not your resources. It is your resourcefulness. What is your willingness to do something different than what you've been trying before to get to where you want to go? What do we have to do so when your head hits the pillow at the end of the night, you feel like you're doing everything possible to get to where you want to go? Because you can go to bed tonight and wake up the person that you want to be tomorrow. It's just a decision. Once you make that decision, you can take the action and get the result that you want in your life. Now, guys, before I go, I want to say this. A nutrition coach saved my life. His name is Jeff Black. I would not be alive today without him. He gave me the greatest gift that anyone's ever given me. And that's belief in myself. Post-cancer, post-chemo, I had no hair. I ballooned up to 265 pounds. I'm looking in the mirror and I don't even recognize the man staring back at me. I needed help. So I called the fittest person I knew in Nashville. They said, hey, you need to hire an online nutrition coach. I didn't even know what that was. I hardly had any money to my name. I had to increase the little bit I could on my credit card to be able to afford him. But he changed my life forever. That's when I made my promise to God. God, if you give me a second chance at life, I will use my few skill sets to serve and help other people. The greatest gift that I can give you is the gift that I'm giving Jeff right now. It's for you to be the person named in someone else's transformation, in someone else's testimonial. That is the person that believed in me more than I believed in myself. That is the person that gave me more reasons to stay than to go. That is the person that breathed life into my dreams and into my identity. I believe that you guys have the greatest job on earth, that you can create the most amount of impact and change in people's lives. But you can't do that if you can't convert your leads or you have contempt for sales and marketing. Learn these skill sets. I'm here to help and serve you. If you guys need anything, please hit the QR code, go to my website, hit the social link, add me and reach out. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you the same gift that was given to me. I appreciate your time, guys. Have a great rest of your day.